Good day, everyone. I'm Gabriel Alfonso Macrinas, and I will be discussing the lubricating system components of a reciprocating engine. And first, what is the lubricating system? So, the lubricating system is the one who maintains the temperature and the pressure inside our engine. It also helps with the efficiency of the engine. Ito yung nagsisirculate ng oil or what we call engine oil sa ating engine components. So, nare-reduce niya yung friction. So, the less the friction, the less heat will be generated. And also, nare-reduce niya rin ang wear and tear inside our engine. So, mas magagamit natin to in the longer run or mas mapapalong lasting pa yung mga components natin. So, dako naman tayo sa mga components. So, the first component of the lubricating system is the oil reservoir. So the oil reservoir dito store or dito nilalagay yung ating oil in the operating mode or hindi siya ginagamit. So yung oil reservoir natin may dalawang locations siya, either inside of the crankcase or outside, or it has a separate tank. So, first is the wet sump, the inside the crankcase. So, nasa loob siya ng crankcase. So, mas less yung capacity niya and mas mahirap siya ipalamig kasi nga na-absorb niya yung heat from the inside of the crankcase at napupunta sa kanya. So, may tendency na lumabdaw siya dahil sa high heat tendency. So, the other one is the dry sump, yung separate tank. Meron siyang separate tank. So, mas high yung capacity niya or mas malaki siya. Then, mas mabilis siyang lumamig kesa sa wet sump kasi nga wala siyang na-absorb na heat. Only yung heat lang talaga ng oil. Then, yung oil reservoir natin is nakadepende sa ating aircraft. So, dapat hindi maliit, hindi malaki, sakto lang yung ating size para sa ating aircraft. So, pang short distance lang siya, pwede na yung maliit. Kasi nga, short distance lang naman siya, small aircraft, hindi niya kailangan yung malaking oil reservoir. Kasi, mas malaki yung capacity. Hindi ganon. What is the purpose of it if hindi mo naman nagagamit halos or hindi nasi-circulate lahat? Kasi nga, short distance lang siya and yung pag-circulate niya ng oil is minimal lang. Hindi niya kailangan ng malaki. So, pag endurance flight naman or pang malaking airplane or pang malayuan is yung malaki na syempre. Pag maliit naman ginamit mo sa endurance flight, edi kakapusin, mag-overheat tayo. So, ayun. So, sa oil reservoir natin is meron tayong tinatawag na scupper drain. So, yung scupper drain natin is nakalocate siya sa lowest or eto. Kita nyo ba yung Ayan. Siya. Naka-lowest, sa lowest point of the lubricating system. Design niya is to allow fluids to flow out of the system by gravity. So, dito na pupunta yung excess oil. The excess oil or other fluids can accumulate in the bottom of the system. And the scupper drain provides a way for these fluids to be drained away from the system. So, sabi, nade-drain away natin yung mga excess oil or other fluids by the gravity. So, kaya siya nasa lowest point is para yung gravity natin is pababa, pa-pull, diba? So, mahihil yan ng gravity yung mga excess oil. So, ang scupper drain natin consists of a small opening or channel, often with a mesh or screen, to prevent debris from entering the system. So, meron siyang screen or mesh na nakalagay dyan sa scupper drain. So, dako naman tayo sa dipstick type quantity gauge. So, ito yon. So, ito is tinatawag na bayonet gauge. So, napapansin nyo is may mga guhit-guhit yan. So, ayan yung nag indicate if enough pa or hindi na kaya ng oil or konti na yung oil na dumadaloy or nasa loob ng ating tank. So, kung napapansin nyo, kung mahilig kayo sa kotse or nagdadrive kayo ng kotse, first things first na ginagawa nyo is to check the oil. So, yung nakikita nyo sa kotse, yung hinila-hila, is parang ganun lang yun siya. Bayonet gauge. So, pag hinila nyo, pag short run, pwede pa yung medyo onte or sakto. Pero pag magmamalayo kayo is hindi na pwede yon. So may indication siya, makikita nyo naman is hati-hati. So ayun, doon kayo magbe-base if enough ba yung oil natin for the run or hindi na. So ito yung ating lubricating system. So ito yung oil tank, dadaloy siya sa oil pump, tapos pupunta ng oil filter, then ayun, so on. So, i-discuss natin yan mamaya. So, sa mga oil reservoir, meron tayong tinatawag na hopper or the temperature accelerating well. So, dito, ina-isolate niya yung kaunting amount of the oil para pag start up, mas mabilis mag-warm up yung ating engine. So, ayun yung main purpose of the hopper or the hopper tank. So, next naman natin is the oil pumps. Oil pumps. Ito yung nagpe-pressure ng ating pressure ng ating oil para maka-flow siya through the components. If wala tayong oil pumps, hindi makakapag-circulate ang ating engine oil sa mga components dahil nga wala siyang pressure. Ang pwede lang natin gawin is balik ka rin para may gravity pero hindi pwede yun. So, kailangan natin ng oil pump sa ating engine para maka-circulate ng efficiently ang ating engine. So, there are two types of pump. So, the first one is the gear pump. So, the gear pump is two mesh gear that rotate in the housing. So, may housing siya, then two mesh gears, tapos yung two mesh gears na yun at saka yung housing, ang clearance lang nila is small. Talagang kaunti lang para walang bumalik na oil pabalik pa ganito. So, lahat sila is pa-forward. So, ang tawag sa kanya is positive displacement. So, what is positive displacement? Yung specific amount of oil lang ang kada revolution. There is a specific amount of oil kada revolution ng ating oil. So, dito, na-enclose niya dito ang ating oil. So, there are certain amount lang yung nakakapasok sa ating pump. Then, at dahil doon, at forward ang ating motion. So, positive displacement ang tawag. Ang type niya. So, may tendency ba na bumaba dito? Yes, meron po. May tendency. At doon papasok si cabbage pump. So, sa generator pump naman is consist siya ng spur gear. Ito ang spur gear. Tapos a housing. So, yung housing niya may teeth. Then, yung spur gear yun is may teeth. So, ganito ang mangyayari dyan. So, ito ang spur gear. Ang housing ang naikot. Bali yung housing ang naikot. So makikita natin dito is eto. Dito yung ano, papasok, dito ang palabas. So ang nangyayari is umiikot yung housing. So there is a certain amount lang ang nakakapasok dahil nga umiikot. And ito is positive displacement rin katulad ng gear type. So dito naman sa rotor, ganyan yung pagkakaano niya. Then sa high pressure, mas maganda gamitin ang gear type kaysa sa gyrotor. Kasi sa gyrotor, ano lang siya. Mas higher efficiency kasi may higher efficient yung gear type kaysa sa gyrotor. Then, kasi 2 mesh eh. Tapos, doon na-produce. Dito na-produce yung pressure. Tapos, magkakasalubong sila. Then, doon na yung pressure. Tapos, dadaloy na sila. So, mas ginagamit siya sa high pressure. Then, ito is the low pressure. Mas low viscosity fluids. Um, the rotor pumps are often used in aircraft lubricating systems to their compact size and quiet operation. So, ayun yung advantage niya. And ability to handle high pressure and viscosity fluids. In terms of performance, gear pumps are generally better suited for high pressure and high volume application, while gerotor pumps are better suited for low pressure and low volume application. So, ayun yung pinagkaibahan ng gerotor pump at gear type. So, sa gerotor pump, kita nyo naman, ito yung spur gear at ito yung housing. Ayan yung kits. Then, the scabbage pump. So, the scabbage pump, ginagamit siya para ipabalik or masuksok niya pabalik yung oil na um, the scabbage pump is typically located in the lower part of the engine and is driven by the engine's accessory drive system. The pump works by creating a low pressure area that draws oil out of the engine oil passage and channels and pump it back to the oil tank for filtration and cooling and reuse. So, the scabbage pump is designed to remove excess oil from the engine to prevent it from accumulating and causing damage to engine components such as crankshaft bearings, crankshaft, and connecting rods. So, sabi ko nga, is the scabbage pump is gumagawa siya ng low pressure area para masipsop pabalik yung mga excess oil na nag-circulate sa ating engine. Tapos, pagkasupsop niya, ibabalik niya ngayon sa ating ah, oil tank or sa oil reservoir. So, ayun yung main purpose ng scabbage pump. So, dako naman tayo sa pressure relief valve. So, kung ang pump natin is naggagawa ng pressure is, yun yung gumagawa ng pressure. Ang pressure relief valve naman is ayun yung nagme-maintain ng ating pressure. So, the pressure, in order to ensure adequate engine lubrication, an appropriate oil pressure must be maintained at all times. Therefore, in order for an engine-driven oil pump to maintain system pressure at the low engine speeds, it must produce excessive pressure at the high engine speeds. So, kung napapalakas na ang pressure ng ating oil pump, andyan naman si oil relief valve, tapos siya yung nagre-relieve ng pressure or siya nag-aalis ng pressure sa ating systems. So, to prevent excessive pressure from damaging an engine, and a pressure relief valve must be installed in the oil system. So, prevent niya ang damaging of the engine. So, typically, pressure relief valve consists of spring-loaded valve and it is held in a closed position. So, ito yung spring. Tapos, and na-adjust siya. Paano siya na-adjust? By turning the screw to increase or decrease the spring pressure. Tapos, either spring siya or ina-adjust nyo siya through spring or nag insert kayo ng washer. So, doon siya na-adjust yung ating pressure relief valve. So, ano ang kinaibahan niya sa compensated at saka yung pressure relief valve? So, yung compensated kasi is kino-compensate niya yung oil pressure. So, kunyari is high pressure siya. So, nagre-release siya ng pressure. If low pressure siya, dinadagdagan niya naman yung pressure natin para maintain or adequate or efficient ang ating engine. So, ayun lang yung pinagkaibahan niya is nagko-compensate si oil pressure relief valve kesa sa pressure relief valve na nagre-release lang if high pressure. So, ayun lang. In addition, a compensated oil pressure relief valve when the oil is cold, a high and low temperature spring holds the relief valve closed to maintain an elevated system pressure. So, ayun. Ito yung spring. Ayan yung spring. Then, ito yung screw. Then, ito yung is the thermostatic valve. So, ito yung thermostatic valve. Ayan yung nagsasabi sa oil cooler natin if kailangan niya pa ba mag-cool or hindi niya. So, ito yung nagko-control ng daloy sa oil cooler natin. So, ayan. Sa oil filter naman. So, sa oil filter, from the name itself, pinifilterize niya yung ating oil. So, di ba nga sa oil, dispersant oil, dinadala niya ang mga debris from the engine through the oil filter. So, yung oil filter natin is tinatrap niya yung mga debris o siya nga yung nag-filterize yung mga particles na foreign particles na nakapaloob sa ating engine. So, without the oil filter, magka-clog lang or magsa-sludge ang ating engine because mga foreign particles niya na nasa loob ng ating engine ay nagko-compact o nakakabuo ng sludge. So, this filtration is required to protect the engine moving parts from the solid contaminants. So, may two types of filtration system tayo. Full flow at bypass system. So, sa full flow, first, locate the oil filter in this engine. Kung nakikita nyo man to, ayan ay isang semi-depth na filter. So, ayan ang ating filter. So, balik tayo, going back. Full flow filtration system. So, all of the engine oil passes through a filter each time it circulates through an engine. So, itong full flow na to, lahat ng engine, kada revolution niya or kada circulate niya is dumadaan sa ating filter. So, andito yung filter natin. So, nakakonekta siya talaga sa ating lubricating system or andito siya. Yan, ito. Ito ang filter natin. So, pagtapos ng filter is the pressure gauge, then lead bearing, then pabalik na sa ating tank. So, 100% of the oil is nadaloy sa ating full flow filtration system. So, the next one is the bypass. Only 10% of the oil is going through the bypass. So, yung yung flow niya is andito, separated siya. Hindi naman totally separated pero may separate valve siya na naka-indicate. Kung mapapansin nyo is at yung filter, yung full flow filter natin is nasa left side, ngayon is nasa right side na. So, kailangan pa dumaan muna sa bearing or may tagusan sila sa bearing bago mag-bypass. So, 10% lang um, yung nafi-filterize ng ating bypass. So, ano mas ginagamit sa aircraft? So, ang pinaka ginagamit talaga is the full flow. Since ayaw mo nga ng particles, ayaw mo nga ng solid particles na mag-cause ng sludge or ano, clog. So, need natin ng ating full flow filtration para kada revolution is na-filterize niya. So, so by si Federal Aviation Regulation, nagre-required ng paano pag paano pag na-plug or nagka-clog sa ating oil valve. So, ayun yung sinabi ng Federal Aviation Regulation. So, paano ba? Ano ba ang mangyayari pag nagka-clog? E di, magsi-system failure na or engine failure na. So, ang ginawa ng mga manufacturers or the maintenance is nag ano sila, naglagay sila ng bypass valve. So, on full flow filter system, some of means of bypassing the filter must be provided. One way to meet this requirement is to incorporate an oil bypass that automatically lets the oil bypass the filter entirely once it becomes plunged. So, yung nakalagay yung bypass valve natin sa pag between the pump and the filter. So, once na nagka-plug or clog ang ating filter, is binabalik niya sa relief valve. Ayun. Then, yeah. So, filter elements naman. May 4 filter elements tayo na approved ng ano. First is the depth filtration. Yung depth filtration naman natin is consists of closely packed of matrix of fibers. So, kung nakikita nyo is compact talaga siya ng fibers. Tapos, pag dumaan dyan yung oil is tinatrap niya yung oil kasi nga matrix of fibers siya, di ba? So, may hati-hati siyang fibers. Natatrap niya yung mga contaminants. Either large or small, natatrap niya. So, ayun yung sa depth filtration. Sa semi-depth, um, made siya sa resin impregnated fibers. So, naka-fold siya ng long sheets at saka into pleats. Ito, kung nakikita nyo. Then, naka-around siya sa perforated sheet steel core. So, may two, ano tayo dito, hinati sa dalawa yung ating semi-depth. So, the first one is the filter itself. So, as an impregnated fibers, then the other one is the cover. So, ito yung pagkaka-assemble niya. The can, the disposable filter element, the lid, the adapter. So, this type of filtration typically involves the use of a filter element that consists of a porous material such as cellulose or synthetic fibers with a specific pore size rating. In semi-depth filtration, the filter element is designed to capture both large and small particles by combining the mechanical and adsorptive filtration mechanism. So, as oil flows through the filter element, larger particles are captured by the mechanical filtration mechanism, while the smaller particles are captured by the absorptive filtration mechanism, which relies on the attraction between the filter media and the contaminants. So, the surface filtration. So, sa surface filtration natin is screen filter siya. So, kung may screen kayo sa bahay, parang ganun lang rin. skin na patong-patong, then hindi siya masyado nakakakuha ng small contaminants. So, ang usually niya nakukuha is large since screen siya, medyo malalaki yung um, butas niya. So, ayun sa surface filtration. So, sa edge filtration naman is maybe spiral or Kuno type. So, may dalawa siyang type, spiral or Kuno type. A spiral wound element consists of a long strip of a wedge-shaped metal that is wound into a type spiral. Ranges along the entire length of the strip separated the turns of the spiral a uniform amount. And the Kuno filter consists of a large number of thin metals discs that are stacked on the center shaft, thin spacers which are attached to the filter housing separate the disc so the oil can pass between the discs. So, sa Kuno type naman natin is patong-patong na disc, na metal disc. And para dumaloy naman doon, since patong-patong nga sila, so mapagal yun. So, para makadaloy naman ang ano natin, ang oil, meron silang spacer. Meron silang spacer between the discs. So, doon, nakakadaloy and naiipit. Since patong-patong nga sila, naiipit yung ating mga particles doon. So, kaya tinawag na edge is sa edge nakukuha yung mga particles natin. So, ito yung example ng Kuno type. May spacer siya. Yan. Then, dako naman tayo sa oil cooler. So, from the name itself, cooler. So, siya yung nagpapakool or pinapalamig niya yung mga oil natin. So, yung mga excess heat is nare-remove niya. Yan. The excess heat is removed by an oil cooler or oil temperature regulator. So, also known as oil temperature regulator nga siya. An oil cooler is an oil-to-air heat exchanger. One type of oil cooler consists of a core with several copper or aluminum tubes enclosed in a double-walled annular cell or bypass jacket. So, kung makikita nyo to, this is the annular shell. So, ito yung sinasabi dito. So, the exact amount of the oil flows through the core is controlled by thermostatic control valve. So, and also referred to as a bypass valve or a flow control valve. So, kung makikita nyo itong diagram nito, so the oil in, dito sa ilalim, ang mga dumadaloy dyan is the cold oil. So, since ito, nalaman na ng bypass valve na, ay malamig yung oil, is pinapa-flow niya lang. And if hindi, kino-close niya yung valve. So, ito is the hot. Pag ganyan, then dito, ito yung hot oil. Dito dumadaloy para lumamig. Then, saka sila makakalabas. So, dito, pagpunta dito, mainit siya. So, pinapabalik yan. Bumabalik. Parang yung pressure. Tapos, ganyan. Tapos, saka lang sila makakalabas pag cold na sila. So, the oil cooler works by using a heat exchange process to transfer heat away from the oil. The oil flows through a series of tubes. So, ito yung series of tubes of or fins that are exposed to a flow of cooler air, often provided by an air scoop or fan. As the oil flows through the tubes or fins, the heat transferred to the oil air reduces the temperature of the oil. The oil coolers are typically located in the oil system circuit after the oil filter and before the oil enters the engine. The oil cooler may be separated component or integrated into another component such as the oil filter or engine cowling. So, ayun nga, sabi is may series of tubes tayong dinadaanan para mapakool yung ating oil. So, ito yun. Ayan. So, dyan lumalamig ang ating oil at makaka-flow na. So, pag kasi nag-overheat or yung heat ng oil natin is tumataas, lumalabnaw ang ating oil. So, the higher the temperature, the lower the viscosity of the oil. So, kaya pinapalamig natin or mini-maintain natin yung temperature ng ating oil. Kasi pag lower viscosity, apaka-labnaw nun. So, hindi siya makakatulong with our engine. So, surge protection valve. So, kung kanina is may bypass valve, ngayon naman is surge protection valve. So, ito yung surge protection valve na sinasabi natin. Itong nasa unahan. So, pag surge condition, pinapadaloy niya lang dire-diretso. And if cold naman is pinapaikot niya. Sabi ko nga sa inyo is dito. Tapos pag hot oil naman, close yung bypass, close yung surge valve. So, dito dumadaloy sa gitna ang ating oil. So, ayan no, parang nag-ano sila, disturb yung flow nila dito. Kasi nga naka-close, then mabalik yun sila. Then dito na dumadaan. Though, if the oil within an oil cooler becomes an college or an excess oil pressure builds at the oil cooler inlet, the surge valve will open and allows the oil to bypass the oil cooler. So, ginagamit siya para pang bypass ng oil sa ating oil cooler. So, dito naman sa oil pressure gauge at sa oil temperature gauge. So, gauge siya. Diba? Gauge. So, nag-indicate siya ng pressure nag-enter sa ating engine. Tapos, nakakalibrated siya sa ating pounds per square inch. So, PSI. Yung pressure yun PSI ang measure ng ating pressure sa ating engine. Then sa oil temperature naman is the oil temperature gauge allows you to monitor the temperature of the oil entering the engine. So, ito naman is most oil temperature gauge are calibrated in degrees Fahrenheit and sense oil temperature at the engine oil inlet. So, dito is hini-help ka na ma-monitor ang temperature mo sa ating engine. So, bakit nga ba sila laging magkatabi? Kasi during start up or engine start, lagi mo silang titingnan dalawa. Kasi pag pumalo yung pressure, tapos hindi umaangat ang temperature, so ano sila, may leak or may leak somewhere. Kasi directly proportional silang dalawa. Pag mataas ang pressure mo, mataas ang temperature mo. So, that's all for my discussion. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.